Hello, and welcome to another edition of the ASU TV-13 News Brief. I'm Eddie Tate. If you haven't already reserved your room for the fall 2016 semester, now is the time to do so. Jakia Gilbert tells us more.
The first leg of the registration process has begun, and students all over campus are rushing about to get things done. It's time to reserve your room, and you have until March 2nd to get it done. From February 1st through 4th, current students with the last names A through H were set to reserve their room. Current students with the last name I through Q were set to reserve their rooms on February 8th through 11th, and current students with the last names R through Z are set to reserve their room February 15th through the 18th. Rayford, a junior here at Alcorn State University, tells us about managing your time wisely during this process.
So my biggest thing is just make sure you do time management. Don't stress it out. Just pretty much just stay focused, stay calm at all times, and just stay positive because the process will be over shortly.
It's essential that those who are beginning this process for the first time seek help. With the recent move of all student services to the Walter Washington Administration and Classroom building, the registration process got a whole lot easier. For those who wish to choose their next roommate pull-in begins February 22nd and ends on the 23rd. And if you wish to reserve your double room on February 25th through the 26th, you will be able to do so, but you will need to have your roommate pinned. Mr. Williams, the Assistant Director of Housing, shares more about the registration process.
It's important that students complete their housing in advance because it helps them to get registered, because you can go ahead and complete your registration without even coming to campus. You can pay your fee online, your deposit, you can pay it online, you can pay your holds and everything we have filed, you can do all that online. So everything is set up so you can go ahead and just do your housing and have that assignment out there, so you won't have to just pay your fees and complete registration.
If you happen to miss your date to reserve your room, you will get another chance to do so from March 1st through the 2nd. Ebony, a junior here at Alcorn State University, gives first-time reservers some advice.
The advice that I give prospective students is that you always need to stay on top of your work. If you need any kind of help, just make sure you call. Faculty and staff will be there available to help you.
Good luck, Braves. This has been Jakia Gilbert with ASU TV-13.
Thanks, Jakia. In other news, Starbucks may not be healthier than skipping the soda machine. A new study finds that flavored coffee may have more sugar in it than you think. Ronita Lacey explains this.
If you think you're being healthier by skipping the soda machine and going to Starbucks, you may want to think again. A new study found that some flavored coffee drinks can contain more sugar than soda. The group, Action on Sugar, analyzed 131 hot drinks from coffee shops in the UK, including Starbucks, Costa, and Pret a Manger. They found some of the drinks can contain up to 25 teaspoons of sugar. That's 3 times more sugar in 1 can of soda, and more than 3 times the maximum adult daily intake recommended by the American Heart Association. Starbucks says it has committed to reduce added sugar in its indulgent drinks 25% by the end of 2020. This is Ronita Lacey with your Health Minute.
The Mass Communications Club traveled to the Clarion Ledger in Jackson to get a glimpse of the daily life at an editor's desk. Breaking news reporter Therese Abel gave students the rundown on how she tackles day-to-day tasks of reporting news as it happens. She gave students advice on how to connect with their audience on television and paper. Students were also given a tour of the Clarion Ledger and the printing press where the newspapers are produced. Alcorn's chapter of the NAACP visited A.W. Watson Elementary School in Port Gibson to talk to students about the importance of Black History Month. Nicholas Payne has a story.
So everyone has a dream, right? You can't achieve those dreams. You can't become what you want to be. Everybody want to be a police, a doctor, a nurse, truck driver, police, teacher. You can do that.
What year was he born? 1902. And his name was James Mercer Langston Hughes, okay?
The legal civil rights act is stood for you all who go to school here to be able to code, read, write, learn, and put the thinking caps on, right?
But I know that every person in here is very smart, right? I can look in your face and tell you're very smart. So that's why I go to Alcorn State University, which is the best university in the world. That's why I go to Alcorn State, and that's why when I do my work, I do it right the very first time. I hope they know what school they're going to. All going to Alcorn.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Where was that?
My name is Amaya Smith. I am 8 years old. I want to be a singer when I grow up.
Free time.
Bedtime. Good morning. I'm going to sing. Hear the wave sound as it crashes down. Well, you can find a way to make you want to stay. We will be adored and tell us that you want us. We won't be ignored. It's time for our reward. Now you need us. Come and meet us. Nothing can stop us now. All My name is Dion. I'm 7 years old. I want to be a fighter when I grow up. My name is Harold Childs, and I am 8 years old, and I want to be a fighter when I grow up. My name is Michael David, and I want to be a policeman when I grow up.
Nice.
My name is Rachel Fred. I am 8 years old. I want to be a teacher when I grow up.
Nice.
Today's Black Historian Spotlight goes to Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. Marshall was the first African American appointed to the Supreme Court Justice.
Thurgood Marshall was an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, serving from October 1967 until October 1991. Marshall was the court's 96th justice and its first African American justice. Before becoming a judge, Marshall was a lawyer who was best known for his high success rate in arguing before the Supreme Court and for the victory in Brown v. Board of Education, a decision that desegregated public schools. He served on the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit after being appointed by President John F. Kennedy, and then served as the Solicitor General after being appointed by President Lyndon Johnson in 1965. President Johnson nominated him to the United States Supreme Court in 1967. Marshall was born in Baltimore, Maryland on July 2, 1908. He was the great-grandson of a slave who was born in the modern-day Democratic Republic of Congo. His grandfather was also a slave. His original name was Thorogood, but was eventually shortened to Thurgood in second grade because he disliked spelling it. His father, William Marshall, who was a railroad porter, and his mother, Norma, a teacher, instilled in him an appreciation for the United States Constitution and the rule of law. Marshall died of heart failure at the National Naval Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland at 2:58 p.m. on January 24, 1993, at the age of 84. He was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. His second wife and their 2 sons survived him. Marshall left all his personal papers and notes to the Library of Congress. The Librarian of Congress, James H. Billington, opened Marshall's papers for immediate use by scholars, journalists, and the public, insisting that this was Marshall's intent. The Marshall family and several of his close associates dispute that claim. The decision to make the documents public was supported by the American Library Association. A list of the archived manuscripts is available.
Save the date for the celebration of champions. The SWAC football champions will be celebrated with a campus parade and a ring ceremony. There also will be a block party at the E.E. Simmons Gymnasium after the game. Come out and celebrate and take photos with the team and the trophy. Be sure to visit Alcorn's student newspaper to catch the latest in what's happening on the yard. Check out the Campus Chronicle to find out more entertainment, music, and movies, as well as vlogs and poetry. That's all we have for now. I'm Eddie Tate. Until next time.